Hi there, Capricorn. Welcome to Eyes to See Tarot and your January reading. We're going to be touching base on a few things, but first I want to go ahead and look at your surrounding energies in the current. And Spirit would be so kind as to give me some insight on Capricorn. Let's see what we got for you. Wow. Capricorn, it may look like you're having a very tumultuous time, like there's a lot of up in the head kind of energy, right? It could be something sort of like what the conditions and what I was raised in, because it's so stuck, it's so stagnant, it's so solidified, but it's also a war within yourself on what side or what direction to go. But you're ready to move now, like you're already tired of deliberating and deciding, or maybe just time is of the essence, you know. I don't think that there's a lot to deal with. There's a possibility that it could be ethical, right? And that is at war with, I don't know, how you were raised, or norms, or societal norms, or peer pressure, or something similar to that. It's like it's almost innately in you to choose this one direction, but something has you, I'd say, thinking out the box, but that's just the first thing that comes to mind. Thinking out the box in one way, shape, or form. It's not doing you any favors, though, from what I see here. It's just a constant nagging, gnawing, and then the pressure of, like I said, this time seems to be of the essence, or time is running out. Bottom of the deck, it's the King of Pentacles. You might find yourself pretty stable or respectable and responsible, right? So that could actually have a lot to do with the decision also. A lot is riding on it. But if I do what I know is right, this all seems a bit strange to me. Maybe with just 3 cards out, it's hard to actually bring it to surface. The Queen of Swords, the 3 of Wands, the Magician, the Moon in reverse, 6 of Swords in reverse. This is creepy and scary. This is almost like a haunting, so to say. There's probably somebody from your past. It could be a mother or a mother figure. Somebody that was kind of very bossy, a little bit negative, kind of pushed you into areas, or made you toe the line. It's almost like you're waiting for them to jump out and go boo or something. There's something that links your subconscious in the current and present moment to something from that past instance. Very heartbreaking situation or time in your life, right? And going back to that mentally, or having it brought up again and again, I don't think it's helping your decision. I don't think it's aiding you in your decision. In fact, that's probably what's all the warfare that's going up in there at the current, right? I'm going to get some clarifiers on this, because right now it's a bit of a jumble mess. Like, I get the story, but as far as like the individual situation that would help you to comprehend the story, or help me, like, it's a possibility you definitely comprehend the story. Help me comprehend the story. Help me. It's a very burdensome. It's very... It's scary. It's frightening. I do feel and sense some anxiety over it, right? No, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. There's something about the current situation that is bringing you back to a mental aspect of being that scared child of mommy dearest. I'm not necessarily blaming your mother. I'm not necessarily saying it is your mother. It could be an old boss, right? But this Queen of Swords, it's not you. It is something that you're waiting on, someone that you're waiting on. What would they say? What would they do in this situation? How would they handle this situation? Something along the lines of that. And if you wanted to know, now it might not have been obvious to you in your past or in your childhood, but they didn't let stuff like this get to them, right? Your monster in your closet is probably a very good adversary at this time. If you could get out of the damaged childhood out of the way. Because the answer was always black and white to them. There was no indecisiveness. I would beg to say that they kind of let fate decide their direction, right? Which probably is the reason why you found yourself contending so hard for approval, is because I think that they mapped out what was going on around them and deduced what was the best course of action, whether or not, depending on, it wasn't depending on what cards were in their hand. It wasn't depending on how it played out and if it played out best for them, right? It was literally the playing field that helped them draw their conclusion on what path to take and what decision to go with. You understand? And I think that's why they weren't very apologetic, or you didn't find them very forgiving or apologetic about the decisions that they made, right? Is because until you're in that situation, you don't necessarily get what it's like to go against the grain. Okay. Now that message is out. Bottom of the deck, the Ace of Wands. And the Seven of Pentacles. Going with the story that is unfolding in front of me, it's not what they wanted to do. Paying attention to what was going on around them and doing what they had to do, not what they wanted to do, not what they were passionate about, not what they would rather do, not what they felt like doing. But any action was for the good of the family, for the long-term benefit of the family. And even those decisions sometimes can turn around and bite you in the butt, right? And even though there's a situation, or there could be a situation where this person had let go eventually and gave up or walked away, or, their last stand was not the stand that I am talking about. But after you've ventured this far down this road, everybody has a bit of a breaking point, right? And I'm not necessarily saying it's just, right, holding all this weight, right? Okay, now it's weird that card would have come up after it's just come up in this deck. But the Seven of Swords, and even though it's in reverse, and you know, look, the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, right? So this isn't necessarily your rodeo to follow in their footsteps. It is a chance to break generational curses, however. But first you have to understand the monster that you're dealing with. And I use the word monster loosely because whereas they might cause some anxiety, or how you were raised or how you were brought up has, you know, you are clinging to the anxiety or anxious feelings surrounding that. I think that that's the only thing that's really stopping you, is how you're perceiving it with the Hangman in reverse, right? So the Hangman in reverse is you're unable to see things from a different perspective because you lived through it, right? Your persona is kind of wrapped up into this identity or this sense of self or the story that you keep telling yourself. But if you're forced to look at it a different way, and I tell you something like they did what they had to do for the benefit of the family, that might be hard for you to wrap your brain around. It might be hard for you to conceive such a notion. But from what the cards are saying, I do see some manipulation. I see some heartbreak. I see some manipulation. I see some secret telling, gossiping, under the table, or speaking over the table. Say if we had a card game and my cards were secret, you know, then I would tell you what my cards were so we could win. It was with the Moon in reverse and the Magician in reverse. See, they were very selective of who they told certain information to, right? So there's a chance that nobody, no one person in the surrounding or in the family or in that group of people at that time knew the full story at any given time. They all just knew bits and pieces as that person, that Queen of Swords in reverse, right, managed and manipulated the current. I'd say in a very skillful way, too. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of people that really have a very good opinion of this person. I don't know necessarily as of this point what your situation is specifically, but I do see what you're dealing with and what could be coming up in the forefront for you. Okay, what else do we have for my Capricorns, please? And, you know, to be honest with you, with the idea of the haunting, there's a possibility that this person could no longer be with us. And that memory, right, where it's looking back and what would this person do, you know, and then maybe trying to do the opposite. But in the grand scheme of things, I think that it'd be better if that you did precisely what this person did, and just hopefully you have better circumstances on better roads. Because the way that I'm looking at this person navigated very skillfully possibly some very negative energies, and in all actuality kept you as safe as they possibly could in those circumstances. I got the Seven of Swords. There's a lot of deception, right? There's you trying to make it right, but as I'm pulling for this person, I do see again and again, like, multiple instances of the Seven of Swords. Now, can I see what the Seven of Swords was about? Because usually it's self-serving. In this situation, a side note for some of you, it could be that they were taking from the family to fulfill their own wants, needs, and desires, right? And the emotion that I'm getting behind that is it is warranted. It was warranted. You understand? Because as I was explaining the situation earlier, it doesn't look like they were a bad person. It just looked like they very skillfully navigated some very difficult negative energies. So if they were trying to get out, or if they were trying to relieve themselves or make a path out of that lion's den, then it could have even looked very self-serving or deceptive, right? Lying, cheating, stealing, manipulative, right? But you left us. Now, I don't know if that's for everybody, but it is for some, right? Bottom of the deck, I have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. I don't see that this person was very stable either. See, you have the King of Pentacles, right, in the upright, which is a very stable, very responsible, very respectable, right? Got all your ducks in a row energy, right? They had the Queen of Swords. They had the Queen of Swords in the reverse, and they have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Two instances of the Seven of Swords. So all in all, it is looking like it would be very, very easy to judge this person negatively, to fear becoming just like them, to fear them popping back up, but at the same time be inquisitive about, like, what would Jesus do? You know, what would they do? I see there's a possibility that there wasn't a lot of emotion. You might have noticed or felt that this person was void of emotion, right? Or maybe they just didn't have it to show. It showed vulnerability. It showed weakness, right? Something for someone else to attack. Say if they showed you a decent amount of love and affection, then the adversary or whoever they were playing chess with, right? Chess, the strategy game, they might have picked on or chosen you to pick on. But if I do not show emotion towards you, then you are not a target. I'm not pining for this person. Do you understand, Capricorn? I'm really not pining for this person. I'm just reading the cards, and it is a very, very heavy, very, very difficult energy to navigate at this time. So please just bear with me. The Lovers. And the Emperor, both in the upright. Now, the Lovers would denote having decisions or making good decisions. The Emperor is also side by side with them, very strategic, very goal-oriented, very in control, very regal, right? So, I mean, when in Rome. And there's the Three of Swords. So it's not only your heart that is breaking or questioning or going through maybe even the 5 stages of grief, even like 20 years, 30 years later, we're still going through the 5 stages of grief because it never made sense. If we could find a situation or how to explain it to ourselves that actually made sense, that answered all of the questions that we were asking about every instance, then yeah. But you got to also remember that we are the hangman in reverse. That means that it's very difficult at this time or at all to be able to see the situation from any other standpoint than our own. The Four of Swords in reverse again, right? This again leads me to believe that there's something in this situation that is pending, right? And this Nine of Swords is staring right at me, right? Nine of Pentacles right under it. 9, 9, 9. No. No, like German, right? 9. No. There is panic. There is the need to move on or make a decision now. Right now is the time to make a decision. But if I don't have the answers that I seek, if I don't have what has me up at night questioning or viewing this in not the right light, there's a chance that I will misjudge this jump, right? Or make a bad decision here. Four of Pentacles in reverse. There's an idea of releasing or letting go of something. Okay, so side note, some of you might be going through, this person is no longer with us. You could be like getting together and coming together on whether to sell the property or keep it. You know, it's got a lot of, and it's bringing up a lot of memories, right? Capricorn, I don't know why I'm so not. This is an emotional roller coaster. And I can only imagine what it's like for you. Can I see what's happening with my Capricorn, please? Can I see what's happening for my Capricorn, please? Okay, so when it comes to the Three of Swords, right, there seems to be, you seem to be the exact opposite. So however you learned how to be by watching what not to be, I'm saying that it's creating a very strong individual, right? So I have the King of Cups. I have the King of Pentacles. Right? I have all these very, very stand-up cards, but what I'm also getting, you know, is anxiety. What I am getting is an inability to look at something any differently than you have been looking at things. I'm being forced to act in some way, shape, or form without having all the information. And it's for some of you, it could not only be I don't have all the information, it's that my perception of something is blocking reality or the truth of the situation from coming through, right? I'm not saying that you can't make a decision based on that, but I always do like to do my best to at least try to get to the root of the problem or the issue and find out all the information before I do make, right? I have the Seven of Wands. There is a bit of defensiveness, right? And the High Priestess, and I think that you know it. Like deep down inside, you know that they're worth protecting. Deep down inside, for something, nothing that they did, nothing that you can picture or remember of this person would lean weight or give weight to what you know on the inside. But there's, like I said, there's this battle, right? There's this battle. It's almost like there's something in you that wants to be super kind. But there's also something in you, like you're super humble, compassionate side is battling with your survival skills, your survival instincts at this time. I'd say you came to the right place, but man, if I can't make heads or tails of it, I can't give you an answer either. Should have done it a long time ago. Okay. So when the answer is made up, I do see you with the keys to the kingdom, putting something to rest, moving forward, having something to offer, right? Oh, okay. So if we go further on to the path or the idea of inheritance, right? And the idea is to liquidate, but there's something in you that doesn't necessarily want to liquidate, but there's so much pain, childhood trauma, things that you want to move on from or you could move on from, that would bring up or unearth memories. And in order to actually have that footing where you do receive the keys or you do accept the inheritance, right? There's an idea that you would have to, I don't know, really get in there. Like, you know, you'd have to ask questions. You'd have to do things that you'd probably just want to let slide under the rug or float out the door like billowing smoke from the eggs that you burned the day before. You know, you just want to actually stay as far away from it and unscathed from it, because it does come up and bring a lot of emotions or a lot of emotional turmoil. But you're a stable person, you're consistent, you're emotionally secure, you're capable of doing this. What it would take is for you to change your mind and actually get in there, have the uncomfortable conversations, make the meetings, do the thing, you know, act interested. And I think in a way that it would be a little bit easier that you just didn't, right? Just washed your hands of it and just went about back to your high rise in New York, right? And did whatever you were doing prior to this occurrence. And I think that's where it could be ticking, like time could be ticking for you. For some of you, they're not past, but they need somebody to go ahead and go do the caretaking, right? And I know that you probably feel like you'd be better off if you didn't volunteer for this, but at the same time, there's probably going to be a lot of doors that open up as your adult version self comes face to face with whatever this is, and I think that it's going to clear up a lot of what your child mind perceived. I mean, I think that it might be beneficial. Now, do with that information what you will. I think that it would be beneficial. I think it would clear up some information. Do I think it would be painless? No. No. The amount of heavy energy, the worry, the fear, the anxiety, the panic, there's a lot to want to refuse. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like it would be easy for you to refuse this just because it came dressed like that. Like if I already told you, here's this box, it's got a pearl in it, instead of here's this box. But it ugly though, you know? But Spirit's not going to tell you that there's a pearl in that box. I think that there's a pearl in that box. And I think it's a very, very valuable pearl. But I also think there's a couple of snakes in that box. You know, I mean, I also think that there's probably like a couple of earwigs and maybe a scorpion in that box, for God's sake. I'm not going to tell you that I don't feel that way. It's not about you. And then even then, it's not all about you, Capricorn. Like, I mean, what if they need to get some things off their chest? What if they need to go understanding that you comprehended things, or that you finally understood that they loved you the best that they could? With the King of Cups here, I'm not saying that they are your superior, but they could use a compassionate hand. I mean, some of you might not give it. Some of you might just turn and walk the other way and never worry about what could have been won that was forfeited. You know, some of you are going to probably be up to the challenge and be like, you know what, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I ain't afraid of no scorpions and spiders. And I really don't even care about the pearl either. But if we can reassess this relationship with an adult mind instead of a child mind, with a more even playing field instead of a developing mind versus the situation, maybe that, you know. But whatever it is that you decide, I don't see a lot of energy supporting some sort of advancement. I see a lot more energy supporting refusing the task, refusing the situation. Do you understand? I'm going to take a quick look real quick. No. I'm going to take a look real quick. Because it is a decision that you're trying to figure out and you are running out of time. We're just going to do a quick card. Yeah, like the yes or no. That Page of Pentacles in reverse. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so Capricorn, looks like a lose-lose situation to me. You know, these two aren't too far apart from each other. Page, Knight, that's just one level, right? So the losses by not engaging are greater than the losses from engaging. This is not an optimal situation. This is not fun for me to deliver this message, and it's probably not very fun for you to have to be going through it. But Capricorn, as far as it is, that's pretty much all the information that I have for you at this time. There's no winning here. But with the Strength card, there can be some sort of victory for the both of you, right? Now, I don't know, like I said, who you're dealing with, but it does seem like a good balance between my darker sides, my lighter sides, my human sides, my animalistic sides. This nice little balance of how we can work together, right? Instead of being at war with each other. And again, thanks for stopping at Eyes to See Tarot. I do hope you enjoyed the read. If you'd like to see more, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Do hit the bell if you want to be informed next time I upload. And until next time, Capricorn, see you real soon at Eyes to See Tarot.